Hello guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to my early National League predictions for the 22-23 season. It's very early, so take these predictions with a pinch of salt, but do enjoy, get your predictions down below, don't be too offended, and like and subscribe. Let's get into this. So then guys, let me break down for you how this video is going to work. I've got my top 7 here, my top half, my mid-table category, surviving the drop, and my bottom 4. Like I say, this is incredibly early. A lot of things can change before the season actually kicks off. So take these predictions with a pinch of salt. Remember to like and subscribe. And let's get into this, starting with Skunthorpe United, who actually got relegated from League 2 last year in 24th place. Goodness me, it's not looking good for Skunthorpe, although things could look better next season, of course. It's a tricky division, the National League, honestly. It's not impossible Skunthorpe could make the top 7, but there's a lot of teams hungry to go up, and the fact that only 2 teams go up, I think, is a liberty. The amount of quality in this division, and only 2 can go up. I think Skunthorpe will find it quite tricky, but I think they could make the top half. I think they could be a decent team, but not quite break into that top 7. Let me know if you agree down below. We have to wait and see what their business looks like come the end of July. Next up are Maidstone. Interesting. They finished 16th last year. Not the best season. I actually think they might go down. I've been looking at what the bookies have to say on this, and I know it's incredibly early, but I feel like Maidstone could regress. And with the amount of quality that's coming up as well, you've got to be careful, and I think Maidstone could slip through that bottom 4 trapdoor. Let me know if you agree down below. They're going in my bottom 4. I'm sorry, Maidstone. Next up, Rexum. This is easy. Straight up in the top 7, probably in the top 3, and probably my favourites to win the league as well. They're actually the bookies' favourites. No surprises there. Don't know how they didn't get promoted last year, finishing 2nd, and you don't go up. This is what I mean. The National League's ridiculous. But I think this is an even better opportunity. There's no Stockport to get in their way. And I think the business they could do this summer could be amazing. And the potential for Wrexham, I mean, I look at the club as a whole. They belong in the Football League. And I think that's where they're heading. Top 7 for Wrexham. Next up, Aldershot. Where did they finish last year? 20th. They just beat the drop. I think they could just beat the drop again. I don't know what I'm going off here. It's quite tricky. I'm basically going off what they've done last season, looking at their squads now and what the bookies have to say. I think Aldershot could survive again. I suppose that is quite a decent achievement just to beat that drop, because it is getting more competitive each year in the National League. Next up are Barnet. Interesting with Barnet, they actually finished in 18th last year, which to me is a bit weird when they've not long come down from League 2. I think they could improve. I think they might push up towards mid-table this season. Their fans will be hoping they can make a return to League 2 soon, but I'll put them mid-table for now. I think there'll at least be some improvement. I'm interested to see what their business looks like come the end of the whole summer transfer window. Next up are Bromley. Bromley finished in 10th last year. I think they could do similar. Obviously, they'll have looked at how close they came to the playoffs, and they'll be looking at trying to make that top 7 this season. I think I'm going to put them in and around that mid-table section, so maybe 12th or something. Not that I think they'll get much worse, but I don't know, it's so competitive that I think Bromley could do similar next season. Kind of depends on the business they do as well. There could be a few big changes at Bromley, but I'm going to say mid-table for now. Next up, Boron Wood, a team that really impressed me through stages of last season, and they really proved my prediction wrong, because I think I put them in the bottom half last season, and then they pushed on. They really could have made the top 7. In the end, they finished 9th. I think they could be in a similar position, maybe 8th or 9th next year. They'll be looking at what they nearly accomplished last year and be trying to correct the things they got wrong. I think their business will be quite interesting as well, because they've obviously got some decent players there. I'm going to say similar to last season, not mid-table, I think top half, but will they make the top 7? I don't know. It's so competitive. I do like Boron Wood though, so I'm going to put them up there, and hopefully this time my prediction is much closer. Next up, Chesterfield. I'm going to put them in my top 7. Very impressive last year. They're a bit like Rexum and Solihull. They're just waiting to get back up to the Football League, and last year they really impressed me in some games, and when they finished in the playoffs, they finished in 7th place. They really impressed me in that performance against Halifax. They fell short against Solihull Moors, but who knows? Will it be their year this year? I'm going to say they'll at least make the top 7 again. Next up are Dagenham Red, and Dagenham and Redbridge finished in 8th last year. Really painful way to not make the top 7, obviously. It's tricky. Dagenham Red impressed me last year. Like I say, it was very competitive. I think it'll be even more competitive next year when you look at some of the teams coming down and going up. I think Dagenham and Redbridge will be in that top half again, battling for the playoffs. I'm interested to see their business as well. They're one of the teams I keep an eye on. I quite like Dagenham and Redbridge as a club and their fan base. So I'm going to say top half, maybe similar to last year. Maybe they could break into the top 7. I'll wait and see how things look closer to the start of the season before I do my official predictions. Next up are Dorking Wanderers. What a team, by the way, last year. They finished in 2nd place, going up through the playoffs in the National League South. And I think they'll be really, really looking to impress in this season in the National League. And I think they will make mid-table, actually. I think there's some decent teams coming up, and they'll be one of them that really pushes on next season. Some of their players really stood out to me last year. And like I say, they did really well in the National League South playoffs as well. So Dorking Wanderers are a team for me that I think will step up this season. Next up at Eastleigh. Eastleigh finished in 19th last year. I'm going to say similar again this year. I don't think they'll go down, but I think maybe in that similar category. I think once again it's a club that could really change things up in the summer. Their business will be interesting to see, because if they don't get things right, there's a real possibility they could get stuck down. But I think if anything, Eastleigh could improve. But for now, because it's quite early still, I'll put them in that surviving category with potential to push on. Next up, FC Halifax really impressed me last year. Not quite the best performance in the playoffs, mind, against Chesterfield, but Halifax do have potential to be strong again next year. There will be some big changes at Halifax, obviously the manager being one of them. I think Halifax will be in the top 7 again, though. I think their players, the club, and just what they did last season, I'd be surprised if they didn't make the top 7 again. So FC Halifax, for me, are going to be in there. Next up at Gateshead, brilliant last season, top of the National League North, and once again, a team that's coming up that I think will really step up. I don't even think they'll make mid-table. I think they'll make the top half and maybe even battle for the top 7. Gateshead are a good club, north-east club. It's good to have an addition from the north-east. And yeah, Gateshead for me, I think they will step up. I think they'll make the top half. I'd really like to see Gateshead get to the Football League, but maybe I'm getting carried away. They've only just come up, so I'll put them in the top half for now. Next up, Maidenhead. They finished 17th last year, and once again, looking at the bookies' odds here, Maidenhead are being made out as a team that really could struggle, and I think I could see that. Last season wasn't great, some decent glimpses here and there. Could come down to what they do in the summer. Like I say, it's so competitive, and you're going to have to spend a bit of money now just to stay in the National League. But I'm going to say Maidenhead in my bottom 4. Any Maidenhead fans watching, don't be too offended. Just let me know what you think down below. Maidstone United next did really well. Like I say, out of all the teams in the National League South, they were very impressive. Although the bookies do not have Maidstone to do too well in the National League. Do I agree with that? I don't know. It's so tricky with it being so competitive. I think they could survive and they could even push on. But oh, it's so tricky. This is genuinely so tricky. I'm sorry, Maidstone. I'm going to put you in my bottom 4. I'd like to see Maidstone add more to their team and try and keep some of their best players from last season. And then maybe they could be quite good. I'm going to put them in the bottom 4 now. Sorry. Next up, Knox County. Got a lot of positive things to say about Knox County. Very, very good club. And since they went down, they've been pretty competitive, but not quite getting to that level to get promoted back to the Football League. And last season they lost out to Grimsby, very painful, late on in extra time. I think they'll be in the top 7 again. It's interesting. It'd be great to see them go up and maybe make the top 3 and have a better shot, but I could maybe see them finishing 4th, 5th or 6th again. Notts County, decent club, decent fan base of course, and I think depending on who they keep and who they sign, I think they'll be in that top 7 again, but I'd like to see them push on a bit more than 5th place. I think the potential at that club, they really should be looking more towards that top 3. Southend United are next. They finished 13th last year. Not great, considering, you know, they've come from League One, really. They just seem to be regressing. It wasn't a terrible season, but not great, considering the club they are in this division. I think they could do similar, kind of in that bottom half. I'll put them in the surviving category. It's probably a bit harsh for Southend. I just think they need to add more quality to that squad, to be honest. Next up, Solihull Moors. I think they'll be in the top 7. It's about time Solihull got promoted. Like I say, with Rexum, Chesterfield, Halifax, Notts County, there's so many clubs queuing up to get promoted, but only 2 can go up per season, so Solihull have just been waiting, and they got so close, actually reaching the National League playoff final this time. I mean, I've seen them in the playoff semi-finals and quarter-finals before, but to make it to the playoff final and take the lead and then still not go up, I think they will be in the top 7 and maybe in the top 3 again. Solihull really impressed me, and I think as a club we know they're going in the right direction. So I think they will be a Football League club soon, but we just have to wait and see when it will be. Torquay United next. Now, this is a little bit of a wild card from me. I do like Torquay. You think back to 2 seasons ago and what they nearly did. Last season, they finished 11th. I think they could just break in there. I wouldn't be surprised if Torquay improve on last season and improve and just get up a few more places just into that top 7. I like Torquay. Some of their players stood out to me last season. And like I say, top half team. And I think maybe a case for top 7. Let me know if you agree, Torquay fans. I think it'd be great to see them in the Football League. Next up are Woking, who finished 15th last year. Not much to go on for Woking. Fairly early in their transfer window. I think probably bottom half again until I see any signs of improvement or regression on their squad from last season. So I'll put them in that bottom half category with potential to move up. It's still quite early and Woking are a tricky team to guess for me, but I think surviving's fair enough. Yeovil Town next. I mean, to think Yeovil Town were in the Championship 10 years ago and then last season they finished 12th in the National League. It boggles my mind. I think they could be mid-table again. I think Yeovil Town are a decent club, but it's very competitive. I'm going to say mid-table for Yeovil. Let me know if you agree down below. I'm finding Yeovil quite a tricky team to place. Next up, York City. Very impressive. They won the National League North playoffs and a very decent season. And I've been waiting for York City to get back to National League. I quite like York City. And I think they will make the top half. I think they will. I think they're another team like Gateshead for me that did so well in the National League North that I think they will push on. And I like York City as a club. I like their fans. I think they've got potential to really kick on and imagine them in the Football League. I'm going to put them top half. Only 2 teams next. Next up is Ultringham and they are going to join my bottom 4. Ultringham finished 14th last year. When you consider they've come up to the National League and finishing 14th, it's not that bad really, but I think there could be a case of them maybe regressing as more quality comes into the league and it's a tricky one. They do have the potential to obviously stay up and maybe even do better on last season, but because it's so competitive and I need to wait and see their business, I'm going to put them in my bottom 4. That's probably really harsh. Last up at Alden Athletic. I like Alden. Real club, real fans, and I have sympathy for what they've gone through off the pitch. Honestly, Alden fans, I'm a Coventry fan, so I understand what it's like to have to protest to get your club back. I think Oldham, if they can get things right, have potential for the top 7. Undoubtedly, they are 100% one of the biggest clubs in this division, and I really wanted them to stay up last year, and they didn't. They just went down in 23rd. I think they'll make the top 7 though. I really like Oldham, and I think this is probably I'm probably being a bit biased here because I'd like to see them do it, but I'm going to put Oldham in the top 7. But we do have to wait and see their business because things could get better or worse for Oldham depending on what happens in the summer. That wraps up my video, guys. Very early predictions. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do feel free to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.